Hey, lovebugs, how's it going? So, we're going to talk about your year ahead for 2023. Yep, I know. Everybody else put theirs out in December and January. Y'all are stuck with me. No, I'm joking. I got to move at my own cadence and my own beat, right? And I really wanted to sit with this year because, let's face it, things have been a little topsy turvy since COVID, right? Like 2019 to now have been kind of like white knuckling and nail biting. So I really wanted to sit with this year because I know that in 2022, myself included, like all of us psychics and seers and astrologists kind of felt like things were going to be really, really, really great. Like it was almost like we had like toxic positive optimism in a way because things had been so bad that we were really hopeful that things would be better. And don't get me wrong, things were actually pretty great in some regards, but definitely not to the extent that we tried to hype it up. So I wanted to take my time with 2023. Had some things that came through during meditation. And I've got some cards and some herbal allies that wanted to come through and send their messages your way too. So you know me, I like to break things down systematically. So we are going to start with the general message that I received, which is just because you've sown it does not mean it's yours to reap. I'm going to say that again. Just because you've sown it does not mean it's yours to reap. We always talk about you reap what you sow, right? You plant a seed and then once it comes to harvest, it's yours to reap. And, if you've taken care of something or if you planted something with the best of intentions, you receive that back tenfold. Essentially karma. Well, 2023 had some shit to say to me. So here you go. This is a year for you to understand that just because you've sown seeds and they may start to bear fruit and it may be time to harvest them. Maybe you weren't sowing that seed for you. Maybe you were sowing that seed and nurturing it for someone else. So that way you could be of help or a blessing to someone else. Not to say that you don't get to sow any of your, that you don't get to reap any of the benefits of the seeds that you have sown. I'm not saying that at all. Absolutely not. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You might feel like you're choking and completely and utterly overstimulated with all the shit that you're about to get in a beautiful, positive way. But as we know, through watching social media and other outlets, there's a such thing as too much positivity, okay? And sometimes the best way to be able to truly benefit from your hard work is to share it, okay? Go here with me. Just saying. So, because of a transit that's been going on with Pluto since 2008, everything that you have seriously been trying to like cultivate and that you've been plotting and strategizing with and like really starting to like plant the seeds for those things starting in 2008, even with relationships, going all the way back from 2008 to now, those things are starting to come into fruition. They're really starting to bear fruit. Don't be surprised if this is not the year where you start having people that you haven't talked to in 20, 30 years, right? Or somebody that you met 15 years ago that now wants to like reach out about that idea that you all talked about over drinks. And you're like, wait, what? You remember that? Don't be surprised. And here's the kick in the head. Don't be surprised if now is not the time for you all to do that shit. This person is serious. Don't be surprised if you dust off an old journal and you're like, wow, I can't believe I wrote this. I forgot I wrote this. Maybe I need to publish it. Publish the shit. Watch it take off. Don't be surprised if you don't find old pieces of clothing that you forgot that you had. Dust them off and wear them. But don't be surprised if you choose to hand them off and be like, wow, look how far I've come. I remember how I used to feel wearing this outfit. I actually used to feel really insecure and really, lonely on the inside. Now I feel so much more lighter and vibrant and just happier. Wow, maybe this will serve someone else better. Don't be afraid to pass things along, right? But don't be surprised if what seemingly was the old or aspects of your past don't start coming back up and bringing back old memories, but also reminding you of how far you truly have come. Also, don't be surprised if in 2023 you aren't met with people who cannot seem to see you as you are now because it makes them uncomfortable to think about how far they have yet to come. See, when people can't accept the changes that we've made or can't believe that we've grown beyond a specific state, it's usually because they have to then acknowledge that they themselves have now moved beyond that space. That time and space is still where they choose to like occupy, and that their own venom and bitterness is in realizing that shit, I haven't done anything beyond this but talk a good game. So don't be surprised if this is not a year where people are just like, oh, you go by chosen eyes. This is an example, okay? Oh, you go by chosen eyes? Well, I know your real name. That's great. You know my real name. You remember when I was going by that and when I was doing this, that, and the other. But that's then, this is now. I'm beyond that. And you being able to stand resolute and firm in that truth and being able to do so not only just from a space of, just being joyful and grateful, but benevolence. Like, if they can't catch up, that has nothing to do with you. It also should not be something that stops you, because you shouldn't feel like you're a fake person because, well, this is how this group of followers remembers me, or this is how this old employer remembers me. This is how these coworkers know me. Yeah, you evolve past that. And guess what? The fact that they're still trapped there lets you know that they haven't. So, oh well. So, starting with Q1, January, February, March. Expect the unexpected. Now, it's not so much Murphy's Law, all right? It is a little bit heavier, however, on if you expected it to go this way, don't be surprised if it doesn't go this way. So don't be married to a plan, all right? Y'all have heard me use this expression before. It's borrowed from the Matrix. It's not my own. Apologies. Apparently, there's somebody on a motorcycle outside. But there is no spoon. Here's what I mean by that, okay? When things get too big for me to comprehend or just too deep or just like discombobulated, I'm just like, there is no spoon, right? The order to chaos is embracing the chaos. That's it. Lean into the chaos. Maybe you had your social media calendar scheduled and planned out to a T. And yet you wind up getting COVID or the flu or a stomach bug, or you're just too overstimulated and overwhelmed, and mentally you need to shut down. And so it puts your calendar off by like 3 or 4 days. Lean into it. Embrace the chaos. Maybe you didn't need to actually, maybe you actually didn't need to record that day. Maybe the content you were about to put out was antiquated or dated. Maybe it was in a space where you just couldn't handle it and you weren't going to deliver it the way that you thought. Keep that in mind. Just saying. Expect the unexpected. Also, be very aware of the fact that you are not in as much control as you think in this first quarter. I mean, technically, we are to an extent, right? I don't want you to feel like you're completely and utterly like abdicated of any power. No one's divesting you of that. But what I am saying is that there are certain things that are in your control and other things that just are not. So lean into the chaos, allow things to fall into place as they need to and as they want to, right? Kind of view yourself as a third party watching a movie, right? You get to participate, it's interactive, but also allow the dinner movie theater to happen around you too. Just observe. Just watch. All right? Watch how seeds that you have sown start to pop up, how they're popping up, where they're popping up, with whom they're being brought up, right? Just pay attention to those synchronicities. This is a perfect time where you may have thought that an opportunity was going to come over here with this employer, but it comes from a complete left field and you're like, whoa, I didn't even know I was on your radar. Or, hey, I liked your friend, but I never thought to think that you were a much better fit. You don't talk. Huh, go figure. Who knew having snow cones together would actually like turn into love? Don't be surprised at where things come from. like where a well-placed word comes from. Expect it to come from the person that everyone views as the village idiot. Yeah, sometimes those are the most prophetic people you could ever meet. Expect that kind of shit. All right. Q2. April, May, June. The message that I received was, be at peace with your mistakes as they will turn out to be beautiful protection in the end. Listen, 2022 taught me that shit. So I was really pleased to find out that was going to be a continuation for 2023. And please note that just because I'm mentioning these things in particular quarters, that's kind of the theme for those quarters. But whenever those particular themes serve you in your life, please by all means utilize them, okay? They're not bound to just one particular area. Q2, I feel, is going to be a time where you're actually thinking that you are making mistakes, or that because things aren't going the way that you anticipated, that you may feel a little discombobulated, like you're tripping over your own 2 feet and you can't get the rhythm that established that you're trying to establish. That's Spirit's way and universe's way of protecting you from yourself. Here's what I mean by that. Even people like me they're like an inner overachiever, sometimes I need to be saved from my need to plan everything the fuck out. I do. As much as I value spontaneity and serendipity, I'm trying to tell y'all, when that anxiety kicks in, the need to control my time is unreal. If you can relate, by all means, drop it in the comments. But I'm saying this because there are moments where I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot believe I forgot that appointment. I can't believe that I didn't schedule this out properly. I can't believe that, I put too much time between these 2 sessions and da-da-da. Each time I have said that to myself, something even more beautiful has taken place. Maybe I put that much time between sessions because on a spiritual level, in the 5D, my dingbat self knew, this person is going to take a lot of energy out of you and you don't want to have that pouring over into this session. So take that extra 45 minutes to calm down and decompress. Or you didn't need to schedule that session or you didn't need to schedule this on this particular day because dingbat, you forgot you would have double booked yourself for a doctor's appointment in addition to somehow simultaneously giving someone a mediumship reading. Right? That kind of shit. Or perhaps it was Spirit's way of removing that from you so that way it's not you wasting your time or the other person's time because maybe it's not proper alignment. Maybe it's not the right timing. Maybe there's something that you are being protected and shielded from. Something that my grandmother will always say is, if you're late to something or if you miss an appointment, that was God's way of probably trying to protect you for something, right? Your car has car trouble. That was God protecting you from a car accident, right? Your plane gets delayed. That's probably God protecting you from some type of maintenance issue and you crashing. Right? Seems very doomsday-ish, but I gotta give it to her. She's gonna be 92 here pretty soon, and she has not been wrong thus far. So, anything that is a perceived mistake is gonna wind up being your protection. Also, for some reason, I'm being told that even if you feel as if you were supposed to, like if you're somebody who's in the limelight, like if you're supposed to write a piece or if you're supposed to present your art or if you're supposed to do anything along those lines that involves you being like front and center in the public and you feel that you bomb or you tank, like if you're on stage and you're supposed to give a speech or you're a comedian and you feel like you just like stink up the stage and it just goes south, that's actually working to your benefit because that's not the arena you're supposed to be in the first place. Yes, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to be a comedian, but it's very much like that particular space or that venue. Like if it's an interview and if the interview doesn't go well, you don't need to have your brand seen on that particular media outlet. If you're a comedian and you are trying to put yourself out there at this particular comedy venue and it doesn't go very well, that's not your crowd. It's not that you're not a comedian, that's just not your space. If you bomb a test, right? And you're in school, I keep hearing like that's not the medium you're supposed to go to. That's not the discipline you're supposed to go to. Like that's not the test. You need to like go over here. So it's protecting you from the parts of yourself that keep trying to conform and try to follow a rubric that is completely and utterly counter to the one that on a soul level is healthy and works for you. That's Q2. So that's April, May, June. But I keep wanting to say March. So I think like toward the end of March, at that tail end of March going into April, that's part of when that transition period happens. Let me know. Q3, July, August, September. Be mindful of your company and allow your sweetness to shine. All right, here's what I mean by this. We started off the year with expecting the unexpected and just kind of watching and seeing how things play out, right? Not being a passive participant necessarily, but not being as active as you typically would be. Then we just, decided that we were going to go out there, play the field, get our knees skint up, get dirty, right? Fuck up a little bit and reap the benefits of having been protected because we put ourselves out there. All right. Now we've done all that greasy work, and guess what? Now people are starting to take notice. Now we're being seen in the spaces that align with who we are, what we're trying to do, with our purpose, with our mission. We're out there, we're out and about. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, end of August going into September, it's gonna be you moving at light speed, like it's hyper speed. Like you're out there, people are booking you, people are wanting you to be, at this speaking engagement. People are needing you to be at this seminar. People are needing you. I keep talking to like people who are like public speakers right now. So maybe this is a year of everybody being seen. But everybody is trying to see you. Literally, like the demand is to see you, to be seen. And to be seen not just by the right people, by all the people. Like all the people are like, we want you. Be mindful of the company that you keep around. Even acquaintances. It's not just about people trying to steal your shine. I am going, and for whatever reason, Virgos, this is really for you. Do not be surprised if you need to reground yourself with the people who truly have your back. I don't know why I'm being told to tell y'all that in particular, but I feel like it's more you all needing to reach back out and like say, yo, I know I've been ghost for a minute, but let me check back in and plug in with you. I feel like some of the people who are trying to attach themselves to you during Q3, Virgo, it's not that they're people who mean you ill, but they will remind you of what you are not getting from the people who genuinely are for you. And because you've been so preoccupied and focused on getting things done, you may need to go back and water those relationships with people that it's not that you left them behind, but that you just got so focused on like doing the thing that you forgot to nurture certain friendships. So I'm just putting that out there. I don't know why that came through so strongly for Virgo, but Virgo, there you go. I will also say too that for everyone, be mindful of situations where like if you consume alcohol, like date rape situations. So like be mindful of who touches your drink. Be mindful of who touches your food. I'm not trying to make y'all paranoid, but I just keep seeing like there's danger around like too many hands touch, like having access to the things that will go into your body. So be mindful of those things. Your safety is paramount for me. This is also a time where be mindful of your image in that who has access to it. So if you're a person who's out there and you're in outlets or like even if it's as simple as like a headshot for work, right? Be mindful of how that's presented. Have ownership over your image and how you are seen, how people speak of you. Like you don't have control over what people think of you, but you do have control over your narrative. Q4, be ready and expectant. So like open to the abundance that showers you. Because you did all those things in the first 3 quarters, right? So now we're talking October, November, December. Expect nothing but dopeness. Like you've done all the work. You've put yourself out there. You've allowed yourself to make mistakes, right? And allowed spirit and the universe to kind of reorder your steps and to realign you with your purpose, right? And to remind you of what it feels like to be in purpose and to be in step with your higher self. expect the abundance to shine. Now, here's the deal. Once you get to this phase, as you were showered with these things, you're going to have people bringing things to you that were in alignment with who you used to be. The question is, are you willing to let those opportunities go to someone else or to pass you by because they no longer serve you? So that way you can honor the new purpose and the totality of where you are now? Or are you going to be stingy and have scarcity mentality and hoard that for yourself? Now, I'm going to tell you that if you choose the latter, especially if you're being petty, you're going to choke yourself and stifle your own growth. But if you can let some of those things go, right? So let's say, for instance, I've actually had somebody ask me to speak on a topic that no longer serves me. If that's something that I'm not interested in anymore. I support it. I believe in it. I just don't feel that I'm supposed to be the person screaming from the rooftops to talk about it. I have different ideas and different desires on where I want to place my energy. I was recently asked by an outlet that reached out to me before the pandemic if I would be willing to speak on it publicly, nationally, actually. And I passed the opportunity to another person that I knew was still very passionate about that work and is still actively doing that work. Why? It would have been great PR, amazing publicity. It would have given me a soundbite that I could have put all over social media and, like another, PR thing I could put on my notch, like as seen on, da-da-da-da-da. But my heart wouldn't be in it. I wouldn't be able to talk about it from a space that was truly of value or that mattered to me in the same way that it did when I sowed that seed. But what's more important? Me getting that soundbite just to satiate social media quotas, or making sure that that topic is discussed responsibly and ethically and intelligently by someone else. Period. I chose the latter. And guess what? I ain't crying or losing sleep about the shit, right? But as soon as I did that, I got 3 other opportunities that were more conducive to where I am now, what I'm trying to cultivate, and will definitely help me continue to climb. So there's no harm in passing something along. Sometimes we're meant to be the stewards of a seed. We're not always supposed to be the person who benefits directly from it. But I will always say, if I'm a steward of a seed and it can help somebody else grow, who the fuck am I not to help somebody else grow? Because in this, watching them grow, guess what? So do I. I've had so many people who have been stewards of seeds that they've passed on to me that I've been able to flourish, right? Who am I to be stingy and not allow somebody else to be a steward of a seed for somebody else and not help them do the same? So that being said, speaking of seeds, drop the card. I'm human. So we're going to start with your herbal ally for 2023, which is very apropos because we are in January. Pine. Persevere. Listen, things are going to seem sticky. Things are going to seem a little wonky, especially the first quarter or two. I'm not going to lie to you. Beautiful things will happen. So much clarity is going to come. But pine is resilient. It's an evergreen, right? It's very aromatic, right? It's very uplifting. The other thing about it too is that it is really great at keeping things that are negative at bay, right? So it's really great for protecting against negativity and reminding you to persevere and to have fortitude. You're going to need that. You're going to need it. So, that being said, pine is going to be your ally. Whenever you need to remind yourself to anchor in your higher sense of self, whenever you need to go within, think pine. Pine is there regardless. Think pine sol. Pine sol it eradicates everything, right? Kind of, sort of, but you know what I mean. And think, if you, especially for me, growing up in the Midwest and especially in a Black household, you smell pine sol all the damn time. That is a very distinct smell. When I smell pine sol, I smell safe. It's safety. Ooh, they just cleaned this joint. It's safe to be in here. It's safe to eat this. Okay? Well, not to eat the pine sol, but like to eat out of the kitchen where pine sol was used. So, pine sol, okay? Think pine sol. All right. I asked about health, right? Because it's me. Why would I not, right? And so the card that I got from my Archangel Raphael deck, I work very closely with Archangel Raphael. We have a very close relationship. I know that most people think of angelic beings as being warm and fuzzy and woo. Maybe because they know I speak fluent sarcasm. He's a wise ass, but love him immensely. Improving health. In particular, I pick up on mental health needing to be improved. This is a year where if you are not in therapy, or you're not in like a support group, or you're not in accountability groups, or some space where you can like really vent about what's going on and not feel like you have to put on airs or pretenses, this is the year to do so. This is the year for you to honor your own reality. Stop gaslighting yourself. This is the year for you to actually honor and own up with and be accountable to your reality, and ensuring that your emotional safety and psychological safety, and of course physical safety, are all healthy. This is the time that we improve the way that we speak to ourselves, that we speak to others, that we approach our work-life balance as much as possible, but without shame and without blaming ourselves for not being able to conform to maybe a particular rubric or measurement or standard that isn't conducive to how our minds work or our energetic beings are able to maintain and sustain. And then lastly, I want to know if there was any motivation that they had for you. And so we got, I am determined and I am celebrated. Oop. If you find that in 2023 you got butterfingers, don't blame me. It just seems to be a thing. But we are at the tail end of Mercury retrograde, right? Especially as we go into Q2 on, that I am celebrated even through your mistakes, your perceived mistakes, right? You're still celebrated. People still want you around. This is just an opportunity for you to really think about how you want to get things in place for yourself. How do you want to bridge alignments and agreements within yourself? And celebrate yourself. If nobody else is fucking celebrating you, celebrate you. Shit, you're too damn dope not to celebrate you. I am determined. It's not just determined from a very A-type personality standpoint, which is a slippery slope for some people. But I am going to tell you that one of my secrets to success is being so unwaveringly, stubbornly married to your purpose, or to that thing that is your spark, that regardless of how somebody else tries to sway you, no matter if society tells you that you're crazy, no matter if nobody else believes in it but you do, that's what you stick to. Trust me. Believing that magic is medicine and medicine is magic has definitely been that spark for me. It's been that thing. Seriously. Since I was a kid. And it's not been an easy journey to walk. It has taken me, I can remember being since I was like 7 or 8. And now I'm 40. And now I'm being able to have community. I'm able to share my gifts. I'm able to learn so much and to share what I've learned with you all and to learn from you all. And a lot of that has to do with technology finally caught up for this to be possible in the way that it is now. Me holding on to not just the dream, but holding on to that divine spark and that sense of reality, like knowing that it's real, has brought so many wonderful things into my life. And so in terms of determination, it's knowing and valuing and trusting that your higher self is not lying to you. And that is the one thing that I can tell you in 2023 is going to be your superpower. Knowing that your higher self is not lying to you. But also knowing that your higher self will tell you when it's time to let certain seeds move on to their next steward. And when it's time for you to reap the harvest of your own seeds that you've been a steward of for yourself, but also how to receive seeds that you're going to be blessed with from someone else's stewardship. Be discerning of the stewardship, right? You don't have to accept every seed that's thrown your way, but stewardship of seeds is definitely the season for 2023. I sincerely appreciate you all trusting me. I sincerely appreciate you all going on this journey with me. Let's kick ass in 2023. Can't stop, won't stop, Rockefeller. Okay, yeah, that shows how old I am. But love and kisses. Happy 2023. I can't wait to see all of y'all. Stay tuned for more classes and live workshops.